Hi everyone, I'm Graeme Richardson-Locke, FESPA's Technical Manager. Welcome to the fifth in our series of FESPA Coffee Breaks, and a Happy New Year to you all. Let's hope that it's a far better year than last year was. If you're with us for the previous sessions, you'll be clear about what I do at FESPA. However, if this is the first time you're joining us, I'd like to just let you know that I've spent the last 35 years working in screen and large format digital printing. I joined the industry in 1984 as a trainee screen printer, and my career has progressed through a variety of roles in point of sale, textiles, and military electronics production before I joined FESPA in my current position. As an international specialty print trade federation, we continue to focus our efforts on knowledge sharing and community building within the screen and wide format digital print landscape. Since FESPA's foundation in 1962, its purpose has been to help businesses using specialty printing to advance and make the best use of the latest technology. We aim to keep today's session to about 45 minutes, as we understand that your time is precious. We hope that you'll benefit from your participation and you'll find some useful tips to build upon, and which will support you in this disruptive and challenging market. As we consider today's session, we're fortunate to be joined by EPTA Inks and Coveme from Italy to share their insights on moving to more sustainable products. It's important to look at our supply chains and partner with those who are reducing their greenhouse gas emissions from the materials and inks we use. The three categories for reporting emissions are Scope 1, emissions that result from our own direct production plants, Scope 2, which are the indirect emissions created from electricity purchased, and Scope 3, which are all other indirect emissions outside our direct control, such as raw materials, transport, waste, and water. These usually account for the largest share of carbon footprint. In this case, we'll look at how these respected Italian headquartered international businesses supply products across a wide range of industries, with Coveme focusing in this case on their 70% recycled PET Kemafoil KTR Transfer release films, and EPTA Inks, who are working very hard to eliminate petrochemicals from their ink formulations in favour of bio water-based inks, which have been developed using 82% certified materials from renewable sources. Both manufacturers are supporting the opportunity for textile printers to select more sustainable products in their production of textile transfers. I'm now going to share with you the topic and question slide for today. Okay, so in today's coffee break, we're going to look at sustainability as a topic. Coveme and Epta Inks offer screen and digital transfer printers more sustainable solutions. Partnerships matter in the creation of sustainable supply chains, better products, and come from innovative suppliers who've committed to research and change. We'll see that carbon reduction strategies begin by looking at how to move from a past where fossil fuel derivatives were the only choice to a progressive future that uses biologically sourced and circular approaches. Our panelists today, I'm going to share their slide. So you can see here all our email contact details. This will be shared again at the end of today's coffee break. So if you will want to reach out to us, then you'll have our details. I'm very pleased to welcome Stefano Fabozzi, Product Manager at Coveme, and Daniele Uboldi from R&D and Product Manager Textile at EPTA Inks. Firstly, Stefano, please introduce yourself to our attendees today, followed by you, Daniel, so that we can understand a bit more about your experience. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Stefano Fabozzi. I live in Milan. I hold an MSc in chemistry and an MBA in Bocconi. I have 20+ years of experience in packaging and converting industries, and I work hard to develop a sustainable solution. So that's it. Now I give you Daniele.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stefano. Thank you, Graeme. Hello, everybody. My name is Daniele Uboldi. I was born in Como, on the shore of the beautiful Lake of Como. My family originates from the Como area and traditionally has always been employing the processing of silk, that is a Como excellence exported all over the world. I attended a technical institute linked to the textile industry, and subsequently I graduated in industrial chemistry with a specialization in textile chemistry. My first work experience was in 1999 for the Mankian company, also based in Como and currently the main brand of EPTA Inks, as a technician for R&D laboratory. Later, I worked for Kian Group since 2006 as a technical assistant and later as R&D manager for the Textile Inks. With the transition from Kian to EPTA Inks in 2014, I took over the role of technical director for research and development. And last February, I moved into a more marketing and sales role when EPTA Inks entrusted me as a director for the fashion ink business.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. It's very, very helpful to learn a bit more about you. Now we're going to learn a bit more about our audience today. So I'm just going to launch a poll and just ask for our attendees to let us know what kind of printers you are, so that we can understand who's in the audience today. So we'll leave this open for about a minute, just so that everyone has a chance to give their feedback. It's amazing how long a minute can be.
Very true.
Okay, so we have, yeah, we have a mix of 60% digital printers. We've got 50% textile printing focus, some garment decorators, kind of usual mix. So really helpful to see, but I'm glad to see that we have a good number of people joining us today. So thank you very much for taking the time. I'm now going to proceed. So okay, so without further delay, let's get into this and start with the first of 3 questions for EPTA Inks, after which we'll do the same for Coveme. So the first question is, we're hearing more and more about the circular economy. EPTA Inks is a chemical company operating in the printing industry, in particular, direct and transfer textile printing. What is your response to this shift? Daniele.
Okay, Graeme. First of all, I would like to say that sustainability is not for EPTA Inks a trend of the moment, but is really a vision of the world that has connected our community in the last years. For EPTA, in EPTA, we distinguish in sustainability of product and sustainability in terms of processes mainly. First of all, about the products. The sustainability of product for us starts with a hard selection of the raw materials. So a hard selection of not hazardous raw material for the environment and for the health. But starting from 2020, we raised the bar of the sustainability when we promoted the first screen printing inks for textile from renewable sources. That, in our opinion, is a milestone for the future technology of this kind of application. So I would like to speak for a few seconds about bio inks from EPTA Inks. that is composed, the raw material that compose these textile printing inks are from wood waste. So up to 82% of the total organic carbon content is from renewable sources, in particular from soybean, corns, and wood waste in general. So we start with a project with the challenge to planning to stop using fossil fuel derivatives from petrochemicals in general. But the study of the sustainability of product for EPTA is also a new project that started a few months ago. That we will work on 2021. The new project is to study to reuse waste plastic from other industrial sector, in particular from automotive, to obtain valuable polymers to use for the production, for the manufacturing of inks. And then the process, the other hand. In my opinion, we have too much plastic in screen printing. For this reason, we started last year replacing the primary packaging with using 100% recycled plastic for our cans. And then we replace the film that we use to palletize our shipments using biodegradable films. And then the process is not only about the packaging, but we are speaking about also the reducing of energy consumption, the air emission, the water exploitation, How EPTA can do this? Embracing the ZDHC program that for EPTA Inks is very important. So following the MRSL, the Material Safety Restricted List, and the water treatments regulation, we are trying to follow the roadmap to zero discharge.
Daniel, so ZDHC, that's zero discharge hazardous chemicals, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
Thank you.
EPTA, about ZDHC in 2020, has achieved the highest level, the level 3 of ZDHC. That, in our opinion, is very important for the chemical producer of material for textile. And ZDHC joined for EPTA with Eco Passports for Ocotex and GOTS. But not only EPTA Inks, that is not an island, but we would like to work in partnership. We like the influence of the partnership in order to create technology platforms to get faster solution for the circular economy. And very great example of this is the collaboration between EPTA Inks and our friends from Coveme. Why? Because the green vocation and the complementarity of their products, of both the companies. On the right hand, Coveme with this new technology, polyester-free film that is free from toxic surface treatment, and now reusable, renewable through a chemical treatment. In the left hand, EPTA Inks that propose a biological, renewable range of inks for the transfer printing application. So the partnership from two big companies like Coveme and Epta to get something better.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. I suppose that, you know, if you're going out and you're looking to offer the marketplace organic garments, and you're thinking that organic cotton is a great product, like from Neutral, people like Continental, those brands, and really this completes the product performance for it being biodegradable and a responsible manufacturing, where there's no point in putting plastisol on an organic t-shirt, really. Okay, let's move on to our second question, Daniel, for you today. So speaking of innovation, what are the drivers that guide the research and development department in product design at EPTA Inks? And do you think that performance or sustainability is more important?
This is a good question. For EPTA Inks, sustainability and innovation are important in equal measure. Furthermore, for EPTA, sustainability is synonymous of innovation. In my last 20 years in EPTA, the progress in textile inks technology corresponds to a progress in sustainability. We develop several inks eco-friendly and friendly for human health. What is the challenge, the real challenge? The real challenge is to redesign ink sustainable, but without renouncing to maintain the excellent technical performance of the traditional ink. This is the real challenge. Because an ink must be sustainable, okay, but must be very innovative now because must be studied for the next gen of fabrics for fashion and sportswear in particular. And then innovation in formulation, but innovation in application, because the ink, and our customer wants that, must be easy to use, customer friendly. And then innovation in formulation, sustainability, but joining high mechanical performances, strong adhesion, especially on the next gen of fabrics and knitting for sportswear, durability and elasticity. Durability, for durability, I mean the capacity to resist, to have good fastness to washing, to rubbing, and that's all. And elasticity, because everybody know very well how now the next generation of knitting for, I don't know, for running, for sportswear, are so stretchable, so elastic. So also the inks that you have to use to print on this kind of substrates must be very elastic with a very strong mechanical properties of the film. But how we can obtain this? We can obtain this because now the chemical and the engineers in EPTA Inks have the availability of a very wide range of high performances green raw materials. Especially if I compare this period with the early 2000s, when I started working for EPTA Mankian, and I have, I usually speak about this example, I have to reformulate, to redesign the PVC plastic, but without phthalates. At that time, there are not so technological raw material plasticizer to replace the phthalate-based plasticizer. But now this is very easier than in 2000. And then the philosophy. EPTA Inks embrace a Go Green philosophy because we would like to create something new and better, not only because study for the new generation of fabrics, but because in our opinion, the green innovation is not an alternative, but in my opinion, for the future is the only possible solution.
Great. Daniel, thank you. We're going to have to move on to the next one. I know it's difficult. There's so much to say on these questions, but thank you for your insight. The third question that I want to ask is that, you know, many companies claim innovation as a key driver in their strategic planning. What does innovation mean to EPTA Inks, and what are the key performance indicators to innovate successfully in this market?
For me, innovation is the capacity to looking forward and anticipate the future. The capacity to understand the market and not only the market trend, but also the technology trends, especially for the people like me that are from the technical department of our company. Innovation is also creates a needing in our customers, in the decision maker of the, especially the decision maker of the brand of the sportswear and fashion groups. And I think that we did this launching the Bio Inks range because we believe that we have to promote a green, like I like to say, a green new deal for textile industry, to merge the quality and the warranty of eco-friendly inks. Innovation is to create something better, joining the forces, the expertise of different people and companies. And I'd like to speak about the example of partnership between EPTA Inks and our friends of Coveme in try to merge the different expertise of the people and that works for the company and the company. I think it's very important to create this kind of partnership technology platforms.
The synergies, isn't it, between different players to get much stronger products into the market.
Exactly. Because I think that we can reach our goal, our challenge faster and better. Anyway, EPTA Inks in general dislike to work on project because European or local restriction imposed to change raw material, or because for legal restriction, that's all. EPTA Inks works on this project for our own philosophy to create business with a low impact on our planet, to try to reduce the exploitation of the planet resources. And what about the KPI, the key performance indicators? Of course, the first one is the knowledge of the market, the needing of the industry. As I told you before, the capacity to anticipate the supply chain technology trend. And I think that a very interesting example of this anticipation of technology is Bio Inks. Because I'm sure, I believe that the technology of Bio Inks is winning, and it will mark the way for the next future of the printing inks for textile, direct or transfer printing.
Perfect. Thank you, Daniel. That's really interesting and a great thorough answer. I appreciate it. Okay, so I think now we have the opportunity to bring Coveme into the discussion. So Stefano, thank you for the next question that I'm about to ask you, which is maybe you can tell us who are Coveme and what are the key benefits of selecting your materials for printing textile transfers?
Sure, thanks for having me. Coveme is a privately owned multinational Italian company with two plants, two production plants. One is in Italy, the other one is in China. We have 50 years of experience in polyester converting, with the products ranging from backsheeting of solar panels to more film-like labels and textile, of course. Basically, 25 years ago, I would say we pioneered the transition in the textile industries from paper to plastic. Normally, you expect to have, these days everybody is yelling about, reducing plastics. So this should sound like a contradiction. But if you look at the numbers, if you look at the technicalities behind, you will have some surprises. For instance, with polyester, you have a better printability. and also a better, I would say, warehouse life of your material, so it will last longer. Specifically for the shrink, so let's say the out of register, if we talk about printing, it's very important to consider that all our products are thermostabilized, and with the plastic you can avoid any shrinking of the width, the typical width shrinking you have with paper. We are very much into transfer printing, which for us means to have a very transparent material like polyester, so you can you can just control exactly where you apply your graphics and your design, and also the printing quality. These days, I would say that everybody is very much into having the best quality. But one thing is having a quality on your screen, when you develop and engineer a new design, and another story is to have that applied on your garments. So we develop different solutions with having in mind the environment, but also all the respect for the let's say the pillars of the print, which is quality and out of register, basically. In the last years, we concentrate all our developments in R&D for sustainability, but also for hybrid print. Hybrid print is something that is booming now, and it's basically having your 4 colors being printed with digital. This could be dry toner, this could be HP Indigo, UV inkjet, or just eco solvent inkjet or latex, if you like. And then you apply a white ink and the adhesive, the hot melt. To have that, we develop a very specific series of films with a special primer that will help you to have the right key of the inks and also the right DPI, so the right printing quality. But at the end, when you apply with the press, you apply your design onto the garment, this will be removed from the polyester and will end up in an overprinting varnish. So you can get rid of scratches, and also you can control the glossy of the result of your graphic. This is very much important because we have many digital inks which are green, but to be green, as Daniele explained before, is difficult to maintain the technical resistance. So in this specific case of the digital print, scratches. And then an overprinting varnish can help you immensely to get that.
Okay, terrific. My second question for you is what's Coveme's approach to the need to move to a low carbon economy and to address the climate emergency?
Okay, we try to have a very, let's say, broad approach to this problem. So not only concentrated into having green products, but also having green company and green production. So I would divide it in 3. So you have the organization, you have the plant, so the operation, and then you have the product. Yeah. For the organization, we decided to be certified ISO 14000. That was the basic. This means for us having a staff which is dedicated to that, but also to let the mentality of the people working here grow when you approach this kind of sustainable matters, because everybody is interested in this moment to have invoices and to get the bill paid, but you also have to think further. You have to think about a sustainable business.
Sure.
Then we try to understand where we can cut any unnecessary, or we can improve our impact with the environment. And we decided to have a recovery and regeneration of all the fumes we have here in Gorizia, so in Italy, but also in China. Photovoltaic panels, because for us is easy because we produce back sheeting, so it's you know, piece of cake in this case. Yeah. And we also have thermo oxidizers. Last but not least, we have waste collection and recycling. This is very much important when we think about circular economy. So you have to organize your waste collection, and you also to think about the circular economy initiative that we will discuss in a while, and it's chemical recycling basically. Then you have your products. How you can improve that? Well, in this industry, the majority of the release you know, application are achieved through chrome stearate. And we try to understand if this chrome stearate could be removed. So it's a chemical. If you use it in the proper way, it's not that dangerous, but is that strictly necessary for this business? And the answer is no, you can get rid of that. So we develop a new technology involving E-beam and UV, so electron beam and UV curing. And we will able to remove the three main chemicals that are used, traditionally used in this industry, which is chrome stearate, which is formaldehyde, and phthalate, as mentioned before by Daniele. This for us was the first step. So any unnecessary chemical was removed from our products. Second step was, okay, how we can improve again this kind of result. And then we explored the possibility of having recycled polyester inside our products, our KTR. Yeah. It was not easy, but we started with very low quantity, and now I'm happy to say that we get 70% as a result. We are making tests to improve that with 80 and 85 currently, but we are not ready. Problem is that in this specific industry, there are some needs of having, as we said before, a good flat material, so avoid any curling, for instance, specifically after, you know, the heat press, but also to get the respect of the auto register that in this industry means shrinking. Then if you use recycled polyester, it's easy to understand that you can impact this kind of characteristics. So to achieve that, we were you know, forced to reinvent ourselves, to schedule of our production and the machine and the ovens and the tensions and everything now is ready to have a good quality comparable to the virgin, let's say, plastic version we have. It's important to notice that you can combine the two technologies. So you can, the two steps. So you can have removed your chemicals, and you can combine with recycled polyester, 70%. We have the ambition to reach 100%, but at the moment is technically possible, but we are not 100% sure that we can guarantee our quality. So we are
going. I suppose performance and efficiency in the production process is a critical issue for printers. So you exactly. Don't want to launch something that meets half the criteria, but not the one of efficiency in production.
Exactly. That's our approach. I mean, you have to be down on heart, and you have to think about your customers, not about your product. You don't have to be product oriented, but market oriented. Last step is well, to me is I'm very excited talking about that. Is a circular economy, in my view, in my personal view, at its best. So we are able to recover all the used polyester. For used polyester, I mean inside our plant, but also the used sheet through our collection, through our customers, and get back this material in here in Italy. We have a partner able to do the chemical recycling. What does it mean, chemical recycling exactly? Well, is the opposite of polymerization. I mean, as you go from monomer to polymer and you have a polyester, you go the other way around, and then you return to the monomer. I'm explaining very easily something which is not that it's very complex, because you have to purify, you have to do a lot of things. And in this very moment, the European Union is not giving us any frame, because the mechanical recycling is normed, but there isn't any legislation currently for chemical recycling. So you can call chemical recycling whatever you want. But our approach is to go for the best, which trying to return to the granule.
Yeah.
And something which to me is, as a chemist, is magic, is that you can start from a polymer which is not food grade, because or our polyester are not food grade because it's not necessary. And then you can go not recycling but upcycling, because you can purify this monomer into during the chemical recycling, and you can reach a food grade polyester. Of course, to do that, we can do that technically, but we need the help. We need a frame, a legislation frame. So at the moment, we cannot do that. It's not allowed. But I think in future
it will develop.
You should consider that, and that's to me the typical example of a circular economy, but also going upcycling, which to me is, I tell you, is magic.
I couldn't agree more. I think when you consider that most of us think of recycled products as being of a lower grade, a lower standard, but still useful in other applications, to kind of upcycle is just is the dream, right? I get that. I think it's it's brilliant. I'm going to move on to the third question, which I think both of you will have something to say on. So this question is really around your customers, and how do your customers apply these sustainable opportunities effectively? I don't know whether, Daniele, maybe you'd like to go first on this.
Graeme, as I told before, every company is just a single ring, just like a single ring of a complex chain. And so everyone must do something to increase the sustainability in textile industry. And it's important to remember that in general, the textile industry has a strong impact on the environment, a strong impact. So I think that the contribution that everyone could put in sharing the own know-how and the exchange of the ideas between the company, the technicians, in order to expand the possibility, as Epta and Coveme did in the last months. And furthermore, every single choice, even the choice of our customer to use a product that is less polluting, is a step ahead to create something like a virtuous economy. For this reason, what can do our customer to apply these sustainable opportunities? To choice. Now our customers have the possibility, the opportunity to select choice for their job, their work, to use sustainable inks like bio inks. So inks that are free from dangerous chemicals for the planet, for the environment, free from dangerous chemicals that are very safety for the human health, for the health of our children. And now our customers have the opportunity to select high technology polyester transfer film reusable, and have the opportunity to apply the sustainability opportunity, choosing so innovative series of inks that the raw material that compose the inks are from vegetal, as not from petrochemicals and oils. So there are so many reasons now for our customers to choose to apply our product in their work every day. So
perfect. Thank you. Stefano, how would you answer the question?
Well, I think there is no magic stick to be 100% non-polluting and green. But there is a magic word, which is awareness. Awareness is important because any stakeholder into the value chain of sustainability should be aware of the fact that any little contribution will be an addendum into the final equation of sustainability. This means that companies should try to have a collaboration like we have with Coveme has with EPTA. But not only from the industrial part, also this collaboration should be extended to printers, to the brands, but also to consumers. So awareness is the key to have the, let's say, we can call it, a value chain, a sustainable value chain, which will be valuable for this kind of green matters. Legislation is important, but it's something that is very difficult to, let's say, to influence. But I would like to answer with a very practical example of something that we can do as a team. Imagine that you have a green recycled polyester like we produce. And then you print with digital print for the 4 colors, which is green by definition. I mean, you don't have any cylinder, any frame, anything. Then you use the new inks, the white inks that EPTA introduced at the end of last year, and then you print, and finally you have at the end, end of life of your product, you have the chemical recycling, or even the dream, the upcycling. To me, that's a very simple but valuable example of collaboration for having a sustainable value chain solution.
Perfect. Yeah, I think for our printer members to have suppliers working so hard and with such challenging innovation, I don't think anyone should be fooled into thinking that moving away from petrochemical engineering is an easy task by any stretch of the imagination. So, I think it's just really inspiring. We all need to find ways of addressing sustainability. You're giving the market products and opportunities to talk more positively and with more accountability, more transparency in doing things better. So I think it's great. And look, that kind of, we could talk and talk and talk on these topics, but I'm going to now open to some questions from our Q&A. So thank you both so much so far for your contribution. It's been really appreciated. We've got quite a few questions here today, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to get to all of them. So I'm going to do my best. So if your questions don't get answered, I apologize in advance, but we'll do our best to get through a good number. the first one actually is from David, who is asking about. It's a related question rather than directly associated with this, but your perspective would be interesting. He's asking whether we see computer to screen as a sustainable circular model on screen making. I mean, my answer would be if you have the volume to justify the capital expense on CTS, then clearly you're saving chemistry by eliminating film. There are loads of benefits attached to it. I don't know whether it's something either of you would like to comment on, or whether you prefer for me to move on to something more related to you.
Well, we can briefly say that DTG, direct to garment, is an interesting technology. You have to, before saying that a technology is good or bad, you have to decide which is your result, which is the result you have in mind. Normally with DTG, it's very difficult to achieve the quality you have with transfer printing. Then if the quality you have in mind is enough, then is a valuable alternative. Otherwise, you have to think differently.
Okay, I think Daniele, rather than asking your opinion on this one, I think I'm going to move on, because I've got another one here that's Stefano for you, which is, I think you covered it earlier. I think it's 70%, but Glenn is asking what percentage of recycled polyester is in the Coveme transfer sheets.
It's 70% actually. As said, we are working to, well, we have the ambition to reach 100%. At the moment is technically possible, so we don't have any problem. We tested already. Problem is that we are not able to achieve, well, to maintain a reliable product in terms of transparency and shrinking. So we have to, improve that.
Work in progress. Work in progress, but an amazing achievement nonetheless. Thank you. Sean Edgington has asked whether your products are easily available in China. So that's this one both of you can answer.
Of course, our products are available in China also because EPTA Inks has production sites in China. Not only we have production sites in the city of Commerce, California, Los Angeles, in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Barcelona, Spain. In Italy, we have 2 production plants, the Shanghai, the China one, and another very important for waterborne system in the south of India in Tirupur.
Okay, perfect. Stefano.
Yes, our products are available worldwide, I would say. We have a plant in China. Actually, we are not producing a transfer printing there, but we can do that if necessary. But we don't have. We have distributors, so we have a plant there. I don't see any problem.
Okay, cool. Thank you. David has asked again, do you agree that hybrid screen digital will be a future trend for textile fashion in t-shirt production using water-based inks? I think you would probably both agree that there's a very high chance.
Yeah, it's booming. So yeah.
And I think the fact that you can, with transfer, the fact that you can store made transfers for longer and you can apply them as you require, it kind of, there are so many benefits attached to quality resolution of image. I mean, I know some of the transfers I've seen using indigo as the imaging technique, followed by the screen print backup of white and hot melt, are just phenomenally good and incredibly resistant to wash fastness. So there are many advantages, aren't there?
To market, there are many.
Okay, let's see. So, okay, so I have to say David's particularly active today. So thank you, David. So this question is directed to you, Stefano, for Coveme. Are you not afraid that the market will ask for new paper substrates instead of polyester, as it's happening already on some label segment with more paper than self-adhesive plastics?
Hi, David. This is a very good question. Well, the trend now is in general, you see that everywhere in advertisement, in packaging, in converting in general, is trying to get rid of plastic and try to replace plastic with paper. When we talk specifically about our industry, I would say that paper was the traditional solution for transfer print. But as soon as customers are more into the, let's say, the operation, so more into the, I would say, the quality of the print, the quality of the garment. I mean, with the transparent, to be very, very practical, if you have a transparent transfer, is more easy for you to have a positioning. If you think about your warehouse, a plastic will help you. So we are aware that normally paper is, from the consumer point of view, considered more green than plastic. But you always have to think about, well, ideally an LCA, you know, a life cycle assessment. Then you have to start from the beginning, and you have to end with the very end of the life of your product. If you combine all of this, we think that with our new technology, our new green technology, and with the help, that's very much important, the help of all the stakeholders. So specifically you, David, I think you're a printer. We can work together to give you know, a value to our customers, but also to the community, because I mean, we have to think about the future generation, and be sustainable is to, at least to me, not only a business, but also a mission.
Sure. Thank you. Daniel, we've got a quick question here that I think you'll be able to answer fairly swiftly. For I'm not sure of this the attendees first name, so it's DS Hamantha Damuni is who's asking the question. Can we do neon or rhodamine red type colors in transfer prints? I mean, I would say that if you're printing with, do you have fluorescence in your, you probably don't have fluorescence that comply with bio, because I'm not sure that the raw material would, but what would you answer to that at this point?
Yes, the problem for the printing of particular effects like fluorescent inks in particular is not easy. Why? Because the fluorescent pigment in particular are not really pigments, but as some like a polymer. And traditionally, the fluorescent pigments have a very high content for free formaldehyde. So the traditional inks that contain fluorescent pigments are not suitable for skin contact and even for baby contact. Anyway, we make a strong effort in the last years producing and putting in the market a new series of fluorescent inks that are free from formaldehyde. So for a high sustainable printing, we suggest to use our binder free formaldehyde, or even our binder bio inks, and mixing our fluorescent pigment that are absolutely free from formaldehyde. It is the big problem of fluorescent is the formaldehyde, as I told you. But we are working with these pigments free from these hazardous chemicals.
Okay, we have we have so many questions here. Michael Cayman, how do your technologies interfere with performance improvements, especially in regards to faster transfer speeds in high-speed heat transfer machines? So I suppose that's a question about application method. Do you find that you're, because I know that the polyester film would support fast, efficient production. Are there any specific issues around dwell times or adhesion that mean that bio are slower in high volume cases?
It's not easy to answer a question because it's a question about the application processes. But in general terms, every kind of inks is quite 100% suitable for direct and transfer application for both the application. In particular, we studied some specific range of inks specifically studied and designed for the transfer application. For the development of bio-inks, for example, we take care a lot about the runnability in general terms. That, in my opinion, these good properties of runnability of bio-inks could be very helpful also in terms of application in transfer printing. Why? Because it's very easy to use, it's very customer friendly, have a good capacity to dry very fast on the polyester, but not to block the screen. And also the range of curing temperature of the inks is very wide. So I think it's a very eclectic product, very suitable for high runnability transfer printing.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure, yeah, many of these questions could take a good half an hour on their own to answer fully. But you know, our attendees have the opportunity to get in touch with you after today's session to get into more detail. I'm going to ask one final one, which I think Daniele is targeted to you, and I think we need a bit of a brief answer if you don't mind, because I'm just aware of time. So Celine Dufour asks if it will be possible to have a GOTS approved transfer from, you know, sheet ink and glue.
Of course, if you use the right products. EPTA Inks has more than 150 certified GOTS inks, quite 100 EcoPassport certified inks, and we reached the level 3 for ZDHC, as I told you before. And what level 3 for ZDHC? Not only the warranty that the product is free from dangerous chemicals, but that our production sites, our processes are certified. So I think that using the polyester transfer from Coveme that are free from dangerous chemicals on the surface treatment is very important. And using GOTS certified inks, you can obtain something that is completely suitable for the different regulation, like GOTS, for instance.
Brilliant, thank you. Well, look, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to draw a close on our Q&A session. I thank you both for your well, thank you for our attendees for asking such interesting questions, and to you guys for giving answers to them as best you can in the short amount of time that you have. That's nearly all we have time for today. So I'd like to say thank you so much for your participation. Please come and join us in a couple of weeks for the next coffee break, where we're going to focus on sales, how to support your customers as we rebuild after the pandemic. Our registration link will be sent out shortly. If you're interested in watching this webinar, please feel free to check your YouTube FESPA TV channel in a couple of days, where it will be available. And if you wouldn't mind, please complete our survey that will be sent to you after the webinar. We really benefit from your feedback and would be very grateful if you would just take the time to do so. I'm now going to share one more time with you the slide that has our email addresses and contact details, so that any questions that unfortunately we weren't able to address in the session, please feel free to drop an email and we'll be sure to get back to you. Thank you for your time, and good luck in getting up and running in 2021. I think we've all had a pretty rough ride of the pandemic, but I know that I speak for us collectively when I say that we're all looking forward to returning to a better and again more sustainable future. So thank you, Stefano. Thank you, Daniele. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you to you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.